Well, hello people, and welcome back to part 16 of Illium, our modded CS1 build. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Welcome indeed everyone to the first episode of Downtown. Of course, we set up a pretty significant road frame for last episode. And Downtown Illium is going to be much more modular than any of our previous downtowns, focusing in on very specific high detailed city blocks. Much smaller episodes and developments we've done thus far in the series, as we slowly piece together Illium's downtown. Over what I imagine will probably be 7 or 8, possibly even 10 episodes as we build around this fairly enormous space. But today we'll get started with one of my favourite builds in any city, the central transit hub, for which we have trains, metros, trams, monorail and ferries all converging in a very small space. Otherwise everyone, a happy Monday to you all. Welcome back to Illium. So first of all, our downtown transit hub I think is going to fill kind of this grid frame here. You can kind of see how downtown Illium is going to break up quite, I guess, in little modular blocks as it develops in these very specific instances, slowly forming the skyline over time, of course. And I guess we'll start right at the front of our train station, which I actually placed as build in the last episode, just to see what it would look like. One of the skyscrapers, and I think the Galveston building, one of my favourite ones, the little square cubey number. Now there are 2 of these buildings, of course, short and small. I think I'm going to go with small, because I envision a lot of the biggest Illium towers to reside. Probably a little more inland, not so close to the waterfront. So probably these blocks here I think will hold the bulk of our chungus towers, like this one, etc., right? So we'll keep it tall here, but not absolutely enormous. And that's going to settle in really nicely on the corner there, isn't it? Super. Let's bring some concrete in. We could, I suppose, actually go paved here. I know the surface police always enjoy me using the paved texture. With it being Christmas after all. I think it'd be possibly be rude not to, wouldn't it? Yeah, I think we'll go with this paved texture then. And we do have some terrain inconsistencies here. There is possible cause for retaining wall in this section, which usually a sensible egg would argue don't do it. It's a waste of nodes. But I am not a sensible egg. In fact, I'm going to do it. So we'll use content creator keys, of course. Oh, random camera spasm. And then we'll just tuck this into this pathway here. Something like that. And then pull that other end up into the station. Actually connects perfectly with the station. I actually wonder if we had a path here. I wonder if these sides of the station are walkable, because I'm pretty sure they are this way, aren't they? Yeah, there you go. Maybe that's just on a road though. I guess we'll find out. I think I'm also going to upgrade this pathway now to park path. So we get the benches on the pathways. Something a bit more significant, I think. And then we'll feed this down, I guess, just to the quay. And we'll see if that at all just attracts any walkability. But while we wait for that, let's add in the rest of our paved texture here. And then with here, rather than having tiles everywhere, because I think that can become pretty overwhelming pretty quickly. And what I'd like to do is some of the landscaping out the front of the station. Let's just bring that up, and we'll probably... Do these overlap each other? No, they don't. That's good. Concrete all that up. And then here with some bushes. Because we're leaning so much into the monorail in Illium, I'd really like to just give it a little bit of a landscape framing as it runs, especially through the downtown. I probably envision... I wonder if we have room for it here. Maybe here, actually. I'll explain what I'm talking about, rather than just pondering ideas privately in my own head. Because we have extra landscaping tools now, I would not be averse at all to a little pond. I'm just thinking, where could I possibly put a pond, but if we're going to run some cute little paths in between here, it's quite a lot of real estate to lose to water. But it'll be a nice green spot, I think, for the garden. We'll make it very green, blue, lots of trees around it. Definitely a bit of a central transit hub garden here. Suppose a plaza would probably eat up the same sort of room, wouldn't it? So into extra landscaping tools, bring our water capacity down to 0.01. Pause and drag down to our desired height. That should do. Might get a touch of flooding, but it'll subside. Very nice. Could even bring in a bridge there as well, if we wanted another little layer. I brought you up to there. We'll have to have a very short on-ground segment, I think, to actually have that connecting, which I'm happy with. I can blend that in with some rocks and whatnot just to hide any seriously nasty terrain jank that makes itself known. And I'm going to push that monorail pillar back a touch too. Anyone using the side pathway yet? No. It's already insanely busy though, isn't it? Great, I'll be happy with that there then. Lots of detail to do around this, of course, with props in our plaza. And bushes around there as well. So, swinging back toward the station, there's a lot of glass over here. I'd love to continue to respect that. And I think the science centre is going to feature front and centre on the waterfront. So we'll have this in this block, and we don't need that particular frame anymore. I always wonder if we can find perhaps a little bit of an angle on this. Looks like we can. Perhaps a little bit of bob justified as well. Although I think we might be able to leave the trees. But I might change them out actually for something a bit nicer. The vanilla ones are a touch underwhelming, aren't they? And how about some birch? Yeah. Of course, Landscaper Bob always does a good job for us, doesn't he? Brilliant. And we can even see where that wants to be expanded out there. I can't remember, are they walking nodes? They are not. But I think we'll make use out of them. And actually develop a bit of a walkable plaza space around the edge of the science centre. Cool. That's great sat against the tracks there, isn't it? Another visual I can definitely see from the tracks is going to be a multi-storey car park, possibly even two of them. There's a bit of concrete, I think, against the rail. Will do wonders for us. Bring this in. And I think I actually prefer the version, in this instance at least, without the cladding on it. Let's pull everyone up into our corner here. Can we get a fuse in here? I think that's probably the best position in there, isn't it? And then we'll just redirect those pathways as to where they go. But otherwise, big fan of that. Not sure why I actually enjoy that view so much. It's just, it's great, isn't it? Something about mass rail and concrete that works so well. Wonderful. Let's continue to respect all the glass through here. There's a number of different options available to us. High interest tower. I would like to use this, but not really sure where. This is probably an inner city one, I think, so we'll save that for a taller build. And the servicing offices, one of my favourites. It's not going to fit here. Definitely want it. It's about the same height as this one, isn't it? Yeah, pretty much exactly, actually. It doesn't fit there. And that's the couplet road, so that can't really be moved. It does, however, fit and sit there. And who am I, everyone, to deny that? At least once it's budged over. A little bit, anyway. I can probably fix that. I have to respect the couplet most of all, because that road can't really move. What can node controller do for us here? Can we... Yeah, I can't shift the station node because it's a station. Yeah, we can get it to fit on its side. And we'll obviously have to provide, or I guess I could just flip it 180 degrees, then I wouldn't need another road connection for it. Yeah, okay. We're not encroaching on any sides there now. I'm pretty happy with that here. I think anything further to the left of this building has to begin to become quite tall. So we'll use that almost as like a height marker for the rest of the skyline to form against. Intercity trains arriving in droves as well. Fantastic. Super. Another glassy asset that we all love, of course, would be the Grand Library. And now we have the mods. Of course, we can use as many of these assets as we like, because we don't have restricted one use only. So again, this does pretty much fit. And I think as a general complement toward... Yeah, that's got all those little walking nodes on the back of it, hasn't it? Yeah, that'll fit really nicely then with our walkable kind of big glass convention plaza aesthetic here, I think, right? We'll bring pathways down. Lots of landscaping through here, maybe some nicer palms as well. I think if there's a place we can go over the top, it's in downtown, isn't it? So I think best to embrace it. Some lighter coverage. And we could even use some cute fencing here as well. Wouldn't mind perhaps using a little bit more prop fencing, because we've got some nice options, especially this mid-century stuff. Yeah, maybe if we chuck this on a fence fill with our lime tool, we can possibly take a bit of a spice sample almost. Something like that, and then perhaps a little pop of colour as well in the form of a jacaranda. Maybe some vanilla trees. Just so we're not using network fencing everywhere. The node police have been quite concerned the last few episodes. So I will, think, migrate to some prop fencing, especially for today's build. I think it's very tasteful, isn't it, right? Just a little garden in amongst all this glass, and then as you emerge from this corner, you're greeted with yet more glass. But pretty sweet at night time around here, I think. The metro here probably needs to be addressed. I think I'm just going to leave a line out for it. I actually don't know if I'm going to use this yet or not. So let's force ourselves to bridge. And then we'll feed it basically just along the quay. I'm not sure how obnoxious this might be in terms of actually blocking the sea view. But I guess it would only be from certain floors of the buildings anyway, wouldn't it? But upon it in, it can probably go straight across the bay here. And just keep it where it's going. Basically in that grid frame. I think I mentioned this last episode, but possibly to an airport as it goes that way. I think I'm probably likely to redirect this line as well a little more sort of that direction, so we're not both heading in the same direction here. But we'll see. That area's probably quite a while away yet before we get down there, but we'll plan it in. I don't just want all unique buildings around here either. I do want to respect some simulation, for which we have quite a bit of office and commercial demand. And I think to respect our glass vibe, some IT cluster would absolutely be welcome here. So we'll do a couple little fuse-ins. We'll place some of our favourites. If it's tall and glassy, it's in. Although hopefully executed without getting ridiculously tall. So I'll face this tower into the corner. Of course, these guys are made to be back to back, aren't they? So we'll do the obvious fusing there. And then we'll pull that back a little bit too. And then maybe another little more one here. And then we'll have a pathway running through. Just so we have that look of walkable space where you imagine people would take a shortcut if they're walking through downtown. And then I'm going to use a concrete brush again, because I do want some greenery left in here. Within the obvious connecting spots behind the buildings. And then where we've got the trees around the base of this tower, we'll allow that to blossom again into just another little tropical, colourful tree garden. And we'll have these, probably not all over downtown. Maybe we can just keep this a feature of the waterfront. We just have these little gardens popping up. Let's get some rocks in here as well. Perhaps some smaller bush. Some roadie as well, maybe. Right. We can satisfy our office demand with more of this wonderful glass frontage. It just looks so nice, doesn't it? We'll name the transit hub today as well, of course. But I'm really liking how it's hopefully coming across now as how downtown Illium will form. We'll have these much more smaller, almost, I guess, for lack of a better word, more intimate blocks. I think we'll become much more familiar with every corner of downtown Illium by building it this way. And then let's do a quick building spawn point check as well. Just to make sure everyone's happy. One of these will probably need moving. No, you should be alright actually. Yeah, you should be fine there. Super. Let's address our emergency services, because we'll likely get a lot of glass from this, especially with the high capacity fire station stuff. Again, if we're staying kind of low rise, so I guess mid rise here, the fire station will probably work quite nicely near the tracks here. With the car parks next door. And then can we also cluster police within the same remit as well? Police headquarters. Could also go intelligence agency, which isn't an asset we use very often at all. However, I don't hate it here, you know, in the orbit of this space. I think there's certainly room for some garden plazas down here as well at the foot of the library. Bit of open waterfront space, maybe a statue plaza and a flower one. Just almost made for a bit of plaza garden area there, isn't it? Let's keep bringing those green tree aesthetics back into the build as well. Okay, well that attends police and fire service for us. So I think I'd be happy with that. You can also see possibly location for a little bit of inner city car parking too. I know there is quite a lot of car parking around here, but it is downtown, and that just sits and fits, doesn't it? So we'll do that. Now let's bring a bus down here, where we have bus roads, of course. We'll probably see let them get a little bit of use. There's no buses here currently. That's fine. So you'll start from here, and then just come straight down the waterfront, stopping at most points of interest. Just briefly map this out now. Slightly I'll drag a stop along to change it, but this bus will probably go to the airport. And definitely want to make sure we keep on top of these with the names. That'll be the downtown hub to the airport, and we'll just signify that by actually giving it the double-decker airport bus model as well. Speaking of those buses, actually, we did mention during the road planning episode that this would become pedestrian, which means we need a service point, and inspired by a recent city showcase by Eggsy, we saw the Japanese bus depot partnered with a service point, which was a great little combination of assets. So I'd love to bring that in here as well. So we'll have the service point probably... Where do we want this? I place you alongside the metro. I think I want this by the rail. I think it's a little bit more industrial, isn't it? I think so. So we'll budge this node and the buildings up a little bit. Super. Again, that's going to be quite a nice visual just from the rail, isn't it? And then our service point from our pedestrian areas will have a large one. And you will hopefully fit over here as well. I mean, the monorail goes right over it, so I'm pretty happy with that then, to be honest. Super. That was much easier than I thought it would be. I think those service assets, be it bus or actual emergency services, have a bit of an industrial look to them, don't they? So we're going to have this up here. Won't be a massive pedestrian area. And then we'll have... I think sandstone. Just thinking, do we actually want this whole network here to remain as pedestrian road? Essentially just replacing the pathway. It's a super easy implementation. I think we will do that. Yeah, I think that's definitely the more appropriate thing to do there, isn't it? Cool. That's good then. I'd also love a plaza front and center out of here. Probably a unique one. And Statue of Wealth looks like it will fit in here. With a little bit of adjustment. Something I think will also bob to have, I think we'll have coconut trees in the middle. And then the outside we'll do a California palm. I think just to stop things getting too tree spicy, I actually might downgrade these to just grassland. And that one as well. Probably would also like to extend the pedestrian area or road up to that one. And I guess it could also carry on as well. Super. So that gives us a bus depot in downtown as well, which is much handy because otherwise they don't have to drive from all the way over there anymore. And here it goes. I'm waiting for it. There's a few gathering. I'm going to get busy, of course, once it actually hits the airport, but I just love that visual, right? One day we'll see the airport over there as well. So that'll be a really cool sightline, you know. Airport express bus from directly in the city centre. Or you can take the metro or the monorail. Indeed, whatever you like, right? A lot of fun indeed. We also have underground metro here to consider. For which I would love to use any excuse to use this asset. The Japanese metro. What direction are we going here? Okay. Oh, we've got metro under there as well. Okay. That makes things dramatically more interesting. In that case, then I think we have a few opportunities here. You're going to come in the way you were flowing to continue in that instance, whilst the new kind of perpendicular line here runs in an opposite configuration. We do have the capacities to introduce underground metro to this direction. I'm going to do it. I imagine in this kind of what I'm envisioning as a trade center plaza in this grid here will probably feature another underground metro stop. In which case we can probably link it into the stadium and all the stuff around here. There's some missing concrete texture there, Egg. And then coming back to that favoured Railroads of Japan asset, the modern metro terminal is possibly my favourite metro asset in the game. Might be as bold to say. It's also a very glassy asset. Oh, not cinematics. That's not what I want. And its most impressive visual by far is the aesthetic of stairs, which I really like. This does, however, change my metro configuration a little bit. So I think we'll have it here, where we just had it. And then the metro, instead of running alongside that overground metro, I think I'm just going to kind of horseshoe it back into this stop here. And then we'll actually extend that over to that one now. Also allowing it to stop here. And then once I have a bit more of an idea of where this metro and monorail is going, we'll run this underground metro to help fill any deficits in the public transport hierarchy we can see. So everyone can plug back into the central hub. See, there's already a fair few people walking over to that new station. There's also some blockage here as well. What have we got here? Let's pick out a high density commercial asset to fill a block next to this station. Maybe some of the new shops with Shibuya stuff. Actually, we haven't used a lot of the high density stuff from this pack just yet. We'll have 2 of these. One of those. Maybe a little bit of car parking, perhaps, next door. Just to develop these little city blocks. A little bit of service painter, I think, there. More than justified. Perhaps a nice little corner unit like that. And then a couple of single ploppables. Just to make up a block. I'm also going to use financial districts in the downtown eventually, I promise. You know, the police will be on us for that. But again, I think it's just another nice complementary high to mid-rise block. I can fill up lots more glass and waterfront areas around here, right? But otherwise, I think that leaves us at a good point for a detailing time lapse. I'm just going to continue to fill in all these little blocks with IT cluster, medium to high density office and commercial. We have pretty much no residential demand at the minute, so a lot of this is going to be kind of work and play space. We won't really have people living in this bit of the city. maybe the occasional tower if it takes my fancy. And then lots of detailing around our little water features, all the paths, little spots to take care of in and around our stations to really tie together Illium's first little modular block of downtown. But otherwise, let's detail our central transit hub, and then we'll be right back. Alright guys, let's have a little detailed review, shall we, of Illium Central Transit Hub, which looks absolutely awesome. Our first block of downtown has indeed formed. Mid-century modern, IT cluster, vanilla, shops of Shibuya make up the bunch of the zoned ploppables in here. There's office, commercial, varying different styles and whatnot. Bit of mid-century modern here. I love the corner that we have against the intersection. And this will repeat likely with different designs on the other three corners remaining of our continuous flow. The pathway now extends down into the transit centre, indeed just clipping under the metro, which then comes down and drops into here. We also have some fusings here. We got some modern Japan, bit of King Leno's and Japanese malls, which makes a great fusion, I thought. And also a brand exposed to the main road is always welcome, isn't it? The Mirror also sits next door. Just so happened to pretty much sit and fit, so we just respected all the entrances here with pathways around to the side of our big important shopping centre. Dragged the road into the parking section, and they're actually using this to turn around, which gives us the illusion that they're actually using the parking, which is so cool. I really love that. So that sits in here. Fusions again, there's car parking in blocks that weren't quite tight and compact. Shops of Shibuya, vanilla, just big blend of stuff, which sits very nicely next door to our metro station here. And also detailed up the service point, which has loads of different fences and props all around it. Plus some high density residential by the tracks, a little bit of low rent housing if you like for CS1. Just sit in a louder, less undesirable part of the city. Across the rail we have our fence and also some Green Cities residential, including the radio tower. The train police HQ is finally in the city, and the Dosan Centre along the waterfront here, with some detailing and bollards and benches to sit and enjoy the shopping and office and commercial vibes that dominate this transit centre. And a huge lover of this one. Do we have a train coming? There's one in the cinematics, don't worry. You'll see it. But the trains look great coming into the central plaza here. The transport tower went down during the detailing time lapse as well. Again, just another perfect sits and fits moment. And I just love it. It's so busy and walkable, and it's all fusible, and there's not even any internal train lines running yet. Only intercities, so this will just get insanely busy, especially as everything else continues to span out from around it. So possibly one of my favourite hubs we've ever done. Down on the waterfront, there is a pillar in the road here. Let me remove that. There we go. It's always one. One always makes it through. Down here, we just have our node-controlled pathway with a statue with people walking all the way around it. Which brings us back into the landscape gardens, where we have our water, and then also placed in some detailing around here. Benches, statues, grills, kiosks. Things you might need to grab on your commute back into between the different stations. And overall, just a tremendously fun space to work with. There's so much packed in here. And you can see now how downtown Illium's skyline will slowly form, especially as we take I'll tell you what, actually. The Ziggurat Garden. We spoke so often, didn't we, of the view from here one day. Which, I guess, part 1 is now technically in, which gives us our first piece of skyline. Of course, which will continue to grow to the right of this, and up and behind it as well. Of course, we have another viewpoint we mentioned so fondly for eventual downtown views up here as well, right? It's so cool to see that first bit of, I guess, what we can brand as small, high density. Definitely the smaller of the towers that will occupy downtown Illium here today. So absolutely adore it. Just so much fun to work in this space, and can't wait to carry on with part 2 of downtown Illium's main project. I think next episode we will turn our attention toward the World Trade Center Plaza just across the road from here on the left, where we'll also build in a marina and bring in some much larger towers, perhaps closer to the bridge and a little bit more inland as well. If you have any downtown ideas, please do continue to suggest them. I want stadiums in here, probably a campus as well at some point, but that'll be much further down the coastline. But I think this does have the potential to be our best downtown high density inner city space yet. I hope you have enjoyed part 1 indeed. An enormous shout out to the YouTube members and patrons that bankroll these videos with a roll call to our golden patron eggs: Casino, Spartan Angel, Michael W, Bad Wolf, Phoenix MD, Jamin, and great to see. If you want to get involved in that, links down below to Patreon and Instant Gaming, best ways to support the channel. Enjoy the cinematics, and I'll shut up and leave it there. And thank you all so much for watching, and as always, enjoy the rest of your day.